Thanks, Coach.
Last week, making all like the championship game, they go to the bowl game. What do you guys have to do to capitalize on that this year? Make it get back, keep it going.
We got to finish. It comes down to finishing, and there's reasons for everything. So our job in the offseason is to find out why, okay, and then figure it out. First of all, Miami. You look at the last 3 games of the season. Miami's pretty good, okay. And I think they were a little mad. They beat them the year before. They were number 2 in the country. And people forget there's motivations. There's mad. I think they came out to kill us, okay. And that's a great attitude to have. And then again, we did that without our starting center. And then you go to the Clemson game, which they're a pretty good football team as well. It's not like we got beat by, some teams that we shouldn't have got beat by. And then Stanford's a good football program that I think, we dominated statistically, but just didn't come out on the right end of the scoreboard. So, but we got to finish, and again, that's coaches and players. That's everybody involved.
Talk about the quarterback position. Who's going to be the first game against Virginia? I know it's early in July. I know you don't want to tell anybody, but
I'll tell you. My guess is it's going to be number 8, Kenny Pickett. Okay. He's the guy we have confidence in. I think he's got a ton of talent. He's the guy right now. He's going in as a starter. And those other guys are competing too, and they've been competing all summer. But it's Kenny Pickett's job right now. Those other guys are fighting to overtake him.
Have you already seen some growth in him since Coach Whipple's taken over there? Can tell difference there?
Yeah, I have. I think you see growth in everybody. You see growth in your coaches, in every player. But certainly that's one of those guys that you can see more growth because of what he does every day. He takes a snap, he's a leader, and you watch him throw the ball, you watch his mechanics. Those are all things that you can obviously see a little bit more as opposed to maybe watching a D tackle in his progression because he's stuck, in the trenches.
How has Coach Whipple helped him since taking over there?
You know what? We'll find out on August 31st. I think is when you can see the difference of what did he do. But I think mentally it's a different case. I think Coach Whipple will adapt to our players as opposed to the players adapting to the offense coordinator. So I think Coach Whipple's a smart guy. He's coached a lot of great quarterbacks. He's coached them in the NFL. He's coached them at the collegiate level. He's coached at all levels of college football. So he's the one thing I can tell you about Mark Whipple, okay, and I look at Kenny Pickett, he's got a ton of talent, but one of the reasons I hired Mark Whipple was every quarterback I ever saw that guy coach, he always said he turned him to gold. It's kind of like he took this guy, and all of a sudden he turned that thing into a quarterback, and that's, they'd lose a quarterback one year, and you go, okay, they're going to be down. All of a sudden he took this other quarterback, and he made him into a player. So I think, that's kind of what I look at is the coaches are measured on how you develop players.
You said he puzzled you when you would coach against him. Was there an instance where you can
There's
recall
just,
that? Like,
I can't, but I'm not going to share it with you.
Okay.
I was a D-line coach at the time, but there was something that they did, they've done, and just something that strategically and philosophically he does that I think is good stuff that not a lot of people.
Can you tell me at least what the game was?
No.
Okay.
It was Rhode Island versus UMass. How about that? Okay. It might have been Rhode Island versus Brown. You go back and watch the tape. It might have been Brown when he was at Brown.
Having won the Coastal last year, obviously, you know what a Coastal Division champion now looks like, feels like. Do you look around the locker room and practice field and go, oh, I think we got the pieces again this year. We got the certain ingredients that we had last year, or is it too soon to tell?
It's too soon to tell, but if I didn't think that, we probably got a problem. We'll see how we develop, we'll see how healthy we stay. But I like the direction we're going. I feel good with the pieces we have. I feel good with our depth, and I think a team that sticks together and is going like this has got a chance to win. For us, Elias Reynolds played a ton of Michael back for us. Really took over and was the guy, and is explosive and physical as you're going to get in a middle linebacker. And we've got some, Phil Campbell, our star position, our field linebacker, really came a long way. So it'll be interesting to see how he progresses through August.
How's Davis Mills from our area? How's he transitioning?
Davis is doing great. He's a tall, athletic, fun kid to coach. He's learning how to take a snap under center. But Davis is going to be a great football player. I know Coach Whipple's excited about his future, and he's going to keep getting better every day. He's a super kid.
The transfer portal, there's a lot of mystery and misunderstanding on our side. Does it change for coaches?
The transfer portal, does it change for coaches? In what way?
I mean, like, is there anything different about the transfer process than it was before?
No. I mean, not in my opinion. I mean, the transfer process has been the same. The only difference between the portal now and the lack of a name in the past was how they could get there. Okay, so if you want to, you're playing for, you ain't playing for us. You're playing for, Stony Brook, whoever it is, and you say, I want to transfer. In the past, you would go to the coach first. Now you can just go right to the compliance and say, hey, I want to transfer. You don't have to tell the coach. I don't think I'll ever have a player that's not going to come to me and talk to me first. If I do, there was an issue to begin with. So I think that's the key.
There's a proposal that, if a guy graduates, he has to sit out, but if he graduates, he gets the year back. Do you support that proposal?
What is the proposal?
Now they have a lot of waivers coming through where a guy can go and play instantly, but now they're saying that no matter what, you have to sit out that year.
Right.
But if you graduate at the new school, you can get that year back.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I mean, they're saying we're not going to lose your eligibility. You're going to get it, but I think it'll slow down the transfer process a little bit. I don't think anybody wants to sit out. I think they all want to transfer and play immediately. So I think that will slow it down a little bit. I think it'll also teach our young kids how to persevere through and fight through it. I think there's a ton of kids making mistakes. If you looked at the 2,000 kids in the portal, I mean, how many really, I think the stat needs to come out. How many kids that went into the portal on scholarship came out on scholarship? But I bet you it's a quarter of them. I mean, you hear about the high profile guys, but there's 3/4 of the kids, and let's just say maybe that's too high. Maybe it's half of the kids that enter the portal with a scholarship come out thinking that, hey, maybe I'm going to go from a Power 5 to a Power 5. Maybe half of them got scholarship, but they had to go down. But they were thinking they were good enough to go, but they didn't. Why didn't they? So that to me, I think once maybe some of these kids see the stats and really, what happened when I went in. I mean, I know I've talked to one that went in the portal and wanted to come to Pitt. Pitt didn't want him. He went back out of the portal. Thinking that and that to me is what happens. Is the kids would think that the grass is always greener, and it's not. I mean, it's for a majority. I mean, there's special circumstances in every aspect, but to me, the majority of kids are better off staying where they are. Unless there's circumstances that we don't know about, whether it's a coach, personality conflict, family. I mean, there's all those things that are obviously more important than the school. But I think a majority of those kids would be better off just staying where they are.
We play on Friday.
Yeah, we do have a Friday night game. I don't know exactly when.
What are the recruiting ramifications of that?
No, I think we have a Thursday night game. We don't play Friday night games. It's high school night, so there's not a coach in college football that wants to play on a Friday night. It's all ESPN driven, and I don't believe we play a Friday night game. If we did, we played a Friday after Thanksgiving. School's out. So I think historically we played a Friday after Thanksgiving. We beat Miami, I think, on a Friday a couple years ago.
Wake Forest has 3 this year.
3?
Yeah.
See, if I'm Coach Clausen, that's unbelievable. That's not
the
good.
first game's Friday night.
Again, the first game Friday night is probably not as bad because school might not be in session. I know East Lansing, we used to have a Thursday night game or a Friday night game, but the school wasn't in session. High school football hadn't started yet, so that'll be the key. But it's high school football night, and it's not good. I mean, a lot of high school coaches are upset if you start to take over their night. Just like the NFL would be mad if we started playing on Sundays. I'm sure we'd be taken away from their ratings as well.